Can you tell me any of your recent memories, the last day or two? I can try. Oh.
Ambassador Hope, you have an appointment with Dr. Kensey in 15 minutes, sir.
The electronic voice pulled sharply on Jonathan's weary mind, snapping him back into the harsh reality. Surrounded by the cold emptiness of his cabin, deep in the vastness of space, aboard a ship destined for his new home, in a foreign and unfamiliar world. Understood. Of all the places he could have chosen to meet Alan, he settled for the solace and seclusion of his cabin. Jonathan allowed himself a few more moments to sink into his thoughts. The first human ambassador and representative on Eora, the homeworld of the Diarakir Imperium. A decade ago, such a concept would have been unimaginable. Certainly not for Jonathan. And yet here he was, hailed by many as the best and brightest that humanity had to offer. Perhaps until recently, he might have partially agreed with that notion, but now, Jonathan was merely trying to navigate through life, burdened by overwhelming sadness and heavily reliant on medication. Today marked the 41st day since a brutal terrorist attack robbed him of his beloved younger sister, Elizabeth. He counted each passing day as a painful reminder. Oh, Ellie's dead? I didn't know that. Every day that passed without hearing her voice, her infectious laughter. She was his only family, now lost forever. Oh, that's so sad. She had always been there, radiating warmth with her vibrant personality, contagious smile, and unwavering optimism. She was like a force of nature, both fire and blood, his anchor. Letting go, moving on, understanding why she was taken from him, or figuring out how to go on without her, it all seemed impossible. Jonathan had gone from being the best and brightest to the most wretched and helpless version of himself he could ever have imagined. That is, until his old friend, Dr. Alan Kensey, decided to intervene, alongside Jonathan's, friend, Viridian, the interdimensional entity that had chosen him. He stood among his meager possessions, preparing himself to face them both in a few moments, still clutching the memory stone in his trembling hand. Computer, adjust the lights.
Confirmed.
15 minutes is still enough time to gather his thoughts. So we can look around the cabin, look outside of the window, or waiting. So let's look around the cabin first. I hope we can do all of it. The cabin was Spartan in design, but could provide Jonathan with as much privacy and comfort as he could wish. Human spaceships were still in the beginning phase of development compared to all the other Imperial races. Comfort was not at the forefront of priorities, one could say, but no one would be sleeping on the floor. He did not expect any sort of opulent luxury in a transport frigate, built for efficiency and not for pleasure. Look outside of the window. The dark void outside draws Jonathan closer. The ship seemed enveloped in an eerie silence, as if it floated within an ocean of ominous stillness. There was no gravity to anchor it in place, no force overseeing the crew's fervor. Adorned with a myriad of dazzling stars and shimmering dreams, this cosmic tapestry of darkness and light captivated the senses. Jonathan, a mere speck in the vast expanse, traversed through the interstellar web of celestial bodies. To someone who had never ventured beyond the confines of their home planet, it was impossible to comprehend the profound humility and awe-inspiring nature of space in all its grandeur and infinity. He could feel the heartbeat and rhythm of the void surrounding him, resonating with his very essence. In this vast emptiness, Jonathan found a strange sense of belonging he had never experienced before. Let's wait. Jonathan took a few deep breaths, saying a mantra to himself, trying to focus. It took a few minutes, but it worked.
Ambassador Hope, Dr. Kensey requests access.
Understood. Let him in. The door opened with a quiet hiss, and in walked a familiar figure. The doctor wore a wide smile as he greeted his patient and longtime friend. Jonathan, good to see you. I assume everything has been well with you? Good morning, Alan. I would say I'm glad to see you, Doctor, but with the medication, it's hard to tell if I'm feeling any emotion right now. I'll just assume you're thrilled that I'm here. Also, I'm surprised you can even tell whether it's morning or night. I've had my fair share of space training before delving into political history. It's not as challenging as you might think. Your body naturally adapts to its circadian rhythm. I was surprised to hear you were packing up and coming to the Imperial City with me. It's not as simple as that, I'm afraid. The Scientific Institute has issued orders for an in-depth human-alien relationship analysis and cultural exchange report. Besides, I am your doctor, and the UN decided it would be best if the top researcher accompanied the Earth ambassador, even if only for a brief period. I thank you for this. You've made everything more manageable and I don't know how to repay you. Oh, I'm sure you can think of a few ways. But ancient history aside, I hope you don't plan on bringing that attitude with you to Eora. Of course I do. However, I assure you, I keep my private and professional lives separate. That's precisely why I'm here. Alan smiled after saying that and attempted to produce the most innocent look he could muster, to which Jonathan only cited. That's how it's going to be? No easing into it? This is a therapy, Jonathan, not foreplay. Not that you have much experience in that department, considering your sexual history. Ah, did my therapist and friend just burn me? Ah, the gall! Foreplay? Sexual history? I'm afraid I don't follow. My, Jonathan, it has been a while, hasn't it? Okay, I get it. You're making fun of me now. Just trying to lighten the mood. Alan, you realize the stress-suppressing medication you're prescribed doesn't allow me to experience even a hint of humor. So you can try your best to be drop-dead hilarious, but I'll remain stone-faced through all of your attempts. I know, but who said I was trying to make you laugh? Ellie's boisterous laughter echoed in Jonathan's mind, piercing through the fog of his thoughts. He tenderly held the small computer, treating it as he would his sister's hand. I see you've been making use of the memory stone. How are you handling it so far? The first few days were quite rough. It brings me comfort to have it. Initially, it was too painful to even look at, but now, I somehow appreciate having something to hold on to. Good. That's progress. Before we proceed, I want to remind you that your stress-regulating medication will run out in less than 2 days. I won't prescribe a refill. Thus, when we arrive, you will have to take in everything as it is. You need to be ready to face life again without relying on medication. I understand. Good, because I want to introduce a change into our sessions. I'd like Viridian to join us. What? You heard me. She is an integral part of your life, and as far as I can see, the only thing resembling a family that you have. Jonathan forced himself to calm down, his scowl evident. Alright, let's pause for a moment then. How does that sound? A short break? Sure. Let me bring you some water or a drink. I don't need. Just stop talking for a moment and breathe. Alan got up, walked to the food and drink dispenser, and swiftly manipulated the device. Jonathan clenched his jaw, watching the man's back, trying to divert his mind from annoyance toward the alien presence. Here, take a drink. I managed to get something that tastes like grapefruit juice. Jonathan took the glass, eyeing its dubious contents, and then took a long sip, his face contorting slightly. Alan chuckled in response. Oh. Yeah, this definitely tastes like grapefruit juice. Thanks. You're welcome. Now, shall we continue? Jonathan finished the glass and nodded. He closed his eyes briefly, as if deep in thought. For a moment, the lights flickered, and a prism materialized next to Jonathan, from which a humanoid figure emerged. Its silhouette shifted, sometimes appearing devoid of a mouth or eyes. Yet, a peculiar disembodied voice joined them. She, they, it is always here. I declare that I am not always present, Jonathan, but I sense my presence is required. Yes, indeed. That sounds as difficult to go through, sir. I apologize for making you recall this. What about something very recent? Few hours ago. Do you remember landing in the starport? How could I forget? Was I that memorable? Let me remind you. The journey to the planet was calm and uneventful. The Imperial fleet was well known for its efficiency. Upon arrival, Jonathan soon found himself leaving the shuttle escorted by the Navy security force, with Alan just a few steps behind him. I have received word that a security dispatch will be with us shortly. Oh, by all means, enjoy having an escort, Jonathan. I will be just fine without a bodyguard trailing behind me. After all, this is my second time on Eora. Everyone will be jumping and tripping over themselves for your attention. Oh, what a privilege it is to bask in your glory. Just make sure you don't lose your Univ translator. Can't have you stranded on a foreign planet without being able to communicate. That would be tragic. Alan, don't exaggerate. I am sure they receive ambassadors from around the galaxy every day. Besides, I have taken the time to familiarize myself with the 4 major languages of the planet. Your stoicism will come in useful one day, I'm sure. Not today, I would say. You see, I'm confident they will be in for quite a shock when they meet you. Brace yourself for the fanfare. If you say so, we'll know what they have in store for us once the security detail is here. Anything you are not telling me? Human Ambassador Jonathan Hope, sir. The security dispatch reports for duty, sir. A loud growly voice resonated through the air, and a wolven-like figure appeared. Ambassador Jonathan Hope, sir. Yes. I am Inspector Urius Magnus of the House Iricanta of Timoscha. I have requested to be the head of your guard throughout your service in Eora, sir. Alan leaned forward closer to Jonathan. Eager, much. Thank you, Inspector. I am... Sir, it's an honor and a pleasure to be the first of my people to welcome you to the Imperial Seat, the gem of the galaxy Eora, sir. As I pledge my life to the Imperium, so do I commit myself to protect you from any and all harm from now on. Your dedication to your world is an inspiration. Ahem, thank you, Inspector. Your words are incredibly kind, although I am convinced my feats might have been over-exaggerated. Now, if we may, the journey was long and... The Voican inspector furrowed his brow, moving closer to Jonathan, piercing him with a long, assessing look. Sir, are you okay? I'm sorry, what? I've never seen such ashen eyes. Are you ill? Ah, yes. Hello, Inspector. Good to see you again. Doctor, likewise. Is the ambassador well? Of course. You see, none of the races outside Earth has ever seen anyone with blue eyes. As far as the Institute knows, it's a mutation unique to humans. Are you saying no other race in the entirety of all known galaxies has developed blue pigmentation in their eyes? Sounds almost impossible. Key observation there, Jonathan. Almost impossible. Indeed, it is quite rare. Evolution works in mysterious ways, and humans happen to acquire this distinct characteristic. Blue eyes do lend a certain charm and intrigue, don't you think? Charm and intrigue? Well, I suppose beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Forgive me, Ambassador. I will make sure to inform the palace on our way to prepare them. I apologize for my indiscretion. I didn't mean to stare. We haven't been told properly. It looks like it's not going to be the last time. Inspector, do not worry about me. I can find my own way to the palace. Nonsense! Your jet car is ready, and you will be traveling with your assigned guard. The ambassador will have me by his side. Alan let out a deep theatrical sigh but said nothing in opposition. I will see you later, Jonathan. Alan. Ambassador, if you will follow me, the jet car is waiting. The palace has made all the necessary preparations for you. The Emperor and his son are awaiting your arrival. I understand the Emperor's son will be in charge of the upcoming events, visitations, and so on. Correct, Ambassador. The Imperial Prince is well versed in interstellar politics and is eager to meet you. Everyone is. There has been word that Ubar has also sent a ship. That sounds fantastic, especially since, from what I heard, Ubar tries to remain politically distant. They would love to, but as the humans say, it's not about the chess you have been dealt, but how you play them. Chess? I think he means cards. I'm not sure that's how the saying goes. Oh,